Welcome back to your Google Classroom. Let's look at the next tab. As you get in your class from your dashboard, we talked about the stream. The next one is the Classwork tab. This is where all the magic happens as far as the teacher is concerned. This is where you can organize the assignments, where you can create a variety of things, where you can move around, where you can get to the link that's automatically created in Google Calendar for that class, for any due dates or assignments or field trips or anything you've got. It's also where you can get to the class drive folder that will show you everything that is happening in that class, folder by folder by folder. Every assignment that you put out there, anything that a student submits, it gets put in that folder. If something happens weird in classroom, if there's a question about something that was turned in or not, you can get to that folder in Google Drive and see everything that has been turned in. These are really handy, and they're automatic. You didn't have to do anything but create the class for that to work. The magic all happens right here at the Create button. So take a look with me as we explore our way through. We're going to start at the bottom and work our way up. The first thing you want to do is give everything you come up with a topic. This is going to help you organize it. Maybe it's the month that it's in, maybe it's the week, maybe it's the chapter, maybe it's the lesson, maybe it's the project. It's however suits you. But you will save yourself and your students some time if you'll put everything in as a topic. If, like me, you happen to teach multiple sections of the same class, you don't have to rewrite the assignment 14 times. You can reuse a post from another class. Generally, I try it out on my first class, and I correct any spelling mistakes after they catch them, and I refine the directions, and I make sure that I said everything I needed to say, and I put in another link, and I do everything I want to do with the first class, and then I can reuse that post in the rest of my classes for the day, and everything is corrected and it all looks good and it runs a little more smoothly. You can reuse a post from any other of your Google Classrooms. This is a time saver. And the next thing you can do is put in a piece of material. This is the symbol and material for something that you just want to send your students. It's a handout that you want them to have. It's a copy of the schedule. It's the PDF of the lesson. It's not an assignment. It's not something you're expecting back necessarily, but it's a piece of material that you want them to have. This is not something that they can accidentally turn in or delete or do anything else with, but they can get to that. And I'll demonstrate that here in just a minute. Next, as we work our way up, is the possibility to ask a question. When you do this, you have options. Maybe this is a review question from yesterday. What did this mean? What did we do? How did this work? Maybe it's a prediction question based on and going to lead you into what you're doing today. You've got a spot for the question and the instructions, how many points, or to make it where it's ungraded. If it's just a prediction, attention getter, review kind of a thing, you can put in the date that it's due, and you can put in whatever topic you've got. And you can make this two different kinds of questions. One is a short answer, which is their default. The other is multiple choice. You can have as many different multiple choices as you want. And you can set this so that students can see the class summary or not, as you wish. If it's a poll of things, how do you feel about this today? Should we go on? Did everybody get done with this? This is a great way for students to collaborate, and a great way for you to get them started doing something as soon as they walk in. They get on their computers, they see as the email that they get from Google Classroom, you posted a question. A lot of the time in my class, that's the first thing they need to do. It gets them immediately engaged, and it lets me see who's here and who's not, and kind of what the pulse of the class is. If we already know this vocabulary word, for example, from yesterday, then we build on that. If we don't, then we get the kid who does understand it, explain to the kid next to him who didn't, and we can move through it from there. You can attach any files from your computer or from Google Drive. You can add in a YouTube video and ask the question about that. You can add on a link to another website. You can do all the things you want to do, but this is just a nice short little question. And the icon shows them that this is not a big assignment. This is just an opening question. Up above that is if you're going to put in a quiz. This is a place from within Google Classroom that you can create a form. I'll be real honest, I have not used this. If I'm going to create a form, I go out into my applications and I create a form and then I link it to the assignment, but this would probably save me a step. A lot of the forms that I have that I use, I've already created. I'm not doing it from within Google Classroom, but if you wanted to, that's there for that purpose. The very top one is where you're going to spend most of your time. It's where you create the assignment. Here's the title, here's the instructions, here's all the points, here's the due date, the topics, anything you want to connect to it, assign it, and run with it. And you'll see just quickly as we look at, here's lesson 3. We've got an assignment, we've got a material, we've got other pieces of material. You can see when they were due, you can see when I posted them. You can look at the next lesson that was just several assignments. You can look at this that had a question at the very beginning. You can see this one. I have this one saved, but it's not an assignment that I sent live. It's not something we've used, but I have it there ready for me. I saved it instead of making it go live. And again, as we go down looking at lesson 1, if you want to reorder these, you can click and drag them and move them up. Lesson 3 is what we're on right now. Lesson 4 is what we're starting on next week. And that'll be the one that I put in as we go through things. So here's the classwork page and the create button. You want to experiment with this. These functions will save you some time and help students know what kinds of things they're about to be doing. So explore all of these things. And this is where the bulk of Google Classroom really happens. Everything you post here, notice it's going to show up over here in the stream. Here's the assignments that got posted. Here's the question that got asked. All of that shows up over here. Hopefully you can see as it's organized by section over here, it's a little easier to get to. And that is the classwork page.